Aloha everyone, Kele from Ko Hawaii Pai Aina, also known as Hawaii. You'll know more about the kingdom, nation, and country, which is our trifecta. But today, about an hour ago, I got some updates by military sources, and some information was passed along to me. I asked some questions. What was shared with me was also shared publicly. I asked if I was, going to be sharing this and no one else is going to know. They said no, that some of this information was shared on Facebook already. So I'm just going to read you verbatim. The Marines went and did an investigation on Maui. And so this is an update at 7:17 p.m. Hawaii time. The topic is Civil War Deep State, FEMA News USA. And the title is Maui Massacre. The title literally is Maui Massacre by this Marine. So Michael Baxter on August 17, 2023, USMC. Okay. It says, the United States Marines in Maui have seen firsthand atrocities committed by the deep state, bloated, bullet-riddled bodies floating face down in a crimson tide, Hawaii National Guardsmen rummaging through the pockets of dead islanders and tourists, FEMA and Red Cross forbidding citizens access to nearby food, water, and shelter. On Front Street in Lahaina, a uniformed officer shoots a pedestrian in the back of the head for unknown reasons. The cop then spots a bystander filming the incident on the cell phone and shoots him too. A bullet strikes his cranium as he digs into a dead man's pockets and tries to yank a wedding band off a lifeless, swollen finger. He touches his hands to his forehead and glances and looks at his blood-stained fingers in disbelief. He slips over, his pistol falling from his other hand. He was the fifth deep state cop Marines had killed since arriving in Maui late Wednesday night afternoon. As reported yesterday, General Eric M. Smith at Camp Pendleton ordered Marines to Maui to investigate the claims that Hawaii National Guard and FEMA were terrorizing disaster victims. A source in the general's office told Real Raw News that Marines arrived in Maui at 4:10 p.m. and immediately witnessed and responded to unimaginable carnage. He called the death toll catastrophic. He would not quantify how many Marines went to Maui, but his gloomy tone suggested that the deep state forces outnumbered white hats significantly. Backup, he said, was on the way. We really didn't expect local law enforcement to fight alongside the feds and the National Guard, he said. What Marines saw is nothing short of engineered genocide. Near the Lahaina loading dock, Marines found a makeshift mass gravesite, 15 scorched corpses piled atop one another in an industrial dumpster. The fire had not killed them, or our source said. Instead, someone had used flamethrowers to burn them, then deposited the corpses in the trash. We're certain of this because there were shots first, our source said. No doubt the media will end up saying fire killed them, they were murdered, and yes, children too. After dark, Marines happened upon a FEMA National Guard encampment where agents and guardsmen were divvying up ill-gotten loot undoubtedly pilfered from the victims' bodies. The criminals sat in collapsible mesh chairs illuminated beneath standing LED lights, arguing over who would get which stolen items. The dispute ended abruptly as Marines opened fire and killed the 6 deep state villains. General Smith's rules of engagement, weapons free, our source said. Weapons free is military jargon allowing Marines to engage hostile targets at will. Elsewhere, a Marine Scout Sniper Squad saw cops and guardsmen hurling corpses scattered about the sidewalk into a garbage truck as if the dead were disposable trash. The Marines unleashed a hailstorm of automatic fire that quickly took down their targets, but not before a Maui police officer's lucky shot claimed the life of a valiant Marine. Thank you for your service. The Marines, our source said, had 13 engagements Wednesday night, including a running firefight against a heavily armed National Guard platoon. Battle damage assessments are still coming in, but it isn't ending anytime soon. The deep state is entrenched, but we're here for the long haul, and we'll fight until every last Fed and corrupt cop is dealt with or driven from Hawaii, our source said. Free speech and alternative media is under attack by the deep state. Real Raw News, REALRAW News, needs reader support to survive and thrive. Please do not give your hard-earned money to sites or channels that copy and paste our intellectual property. We spend countless hours of vetting, researching, and writing. Hawaii strong. And then there's video, there's screenshots, or there's actually photos from people who, this one's from Ekolu Kalama, shout out to you, 2 submarines were witnessed offshore of Lahaina on 8/8. So what I'm gathering from this is that the military, that people were asking for an investigation, independent investigation, in the U.S. channels, the Marine Corps. This is what's being shared. Andrew, what is his name? Baxter. Let me just confirm. Okay, let me see. Oh, Michael Baxter is the person that shared this content. So that, you guys, it's been a very long day. It's after midnight here. I just want to say thank you for Red Voice Media for having all of us on from Hawaii. Thank you for sharing the stories about the January 6th prisoners of war. Jeremy Brown's, he called in, and then there was Ashley, Angel. I'll get more information on that, but her story has been tremendous with her husband. We are at war. And let's make sure that in Hawaii, the U.S. citizens and the Kanakas and the Hawaiians and the foreigners, they're all aware that there is a declaration state of war out that was signed by the Navy and OFHA. And then there's the Federal Postal Union, the Federal Postal Court. That is the Navy with the kingdom. So that all kind of, there's 2 different militaries in addition to the military. And from what I understand, the U.S. military has been put on notice with the declaration state of war for at least 2 years now. And I know that the proclamation for the Kingdom of Hawaii went out on May 23rd, and it was delivered to, all of the corporate government officials and their agencies. And so, we see where we are today. And, for you, America, as well, I want you guys to be free, and you need to be a republic, and you need to be on a constitution that is not a corporate contract to the crown of Britain by way of the Vatican and London. And so for me, I know a lot about the finance system. I deal with the decentralized space, and the peer-to-peer. We got too complacent relying on legalese and the banking system. A lot of people think that you can't take it down, but if you never try, you don't know. And in Hawaii, we have a very scalable, in the middle of the ocean. We can stand up together. We can, right now, what was the most tremendous thing for me when I came home and I learned about this is who I was potentially related to. And I like to target people. There's so many people who focus on how little of 100% of Hawaiians are left. I'm not 100% quote unquote ethnically Hawaiian. However, we're going to word that. I was born in Hawaii. I was born in the archipelago. I was born in a war. I was human trafficked. I don't want to be a U.S. citizen. The second best country to me is America. And our fellow lawful government people who are here under the 1864 Constitution, that is the law of the land. And then the military, all of us, all civilians should be reading the FM 27-10 and the FM 27-5. And your kids, you should be reading it with your kids. We will go further on another video, but that was my update for today. I want to thank the people that passed along the information. And I want to pass it along to you. Please, again, subscribe. I'm never going to ask you guys for donations. I'm actually going to give you guys stuff for people who are paying attention. And that's where some of these newer updates are going to come out. There's a lot that's being rolled out to help restore our country because it's already been reclaimed. We're reconvening the lawful government. And for those of us who self-govern ourselves, just like you would in any other country with a constitution, that is us. Let's start educating ourselves together now as teams, you know. I think it's pretty cool that we have an opportunity to show that we're comprehensive people and that we're living beings and that we're not legal papers of contract. We're just not. And if you guys want to be that, then, you know, I'm just not here to convince you, but it's just not going to work in Hawaii. It's just not going to work in Hawaii, you know. And so with that, you guys, aloha, God bless, and we'll be doing more videos. Mahalo.